Hey guys, welcome to Tommy's Take, and thank you for joining me in this video. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and comment down below. Okay, so real quick, guys, we're going to get started. We're going to be watching a video, a portion of a video. Yesterday, there was a discussion between Dave Smith and Candace Owens. And it was a nice discussion, and we're going to just watch a segment of it, and then we're going to comment. So without wasting your time, let's just get right into it.
But similarly, there's been this huge, there's this interesting dynamic where, okay, so when obviously this started with the 12-day war and the suppressing of the Epstein files, and then it was really just solidified by launching this war again and the whole thing falling apart. But at first, when the war first launched and you had those polls that said 99% of MAGA loves these wars,
crazy.
Ben Shapiro and all those guys, they said the lesson here is that Tucker Carlson doesn't matter and Candace Owens doesn't matter and Alex Jones and Megyn Kelly. And sure, you might look next to their shows and see awfully huge numbers. And every time there's a chart, these are the biggest shows out there, but they don't matter. They're totally irrelevant and there's no connect. Now, a year later, the story is that it's all your guys' fault that the coalition broke up. You went from not mattering at all to being responsible to taking down the biggest coalition ever. Whereas, like, what's right in front of all of us is that it's just like, dude, no one wanted another war.
Right.
No one wanted another war for Israel.
Obviously. And the other thing is, yeah, support for Israel has completely collapsed. And so people that continue to lie.
And that's the thing. Trump, that 2024 run that he had against Kamala Harris was something to watch. It was something to watch all of the support he had from so many different types of people, Black people, Latinos, white people. I mean, even independents, right? There were even Democrats that were voting for Trump. Trump had a lot of support. He had a lot of support, but he flipped. He decided to flip, and fight this war with Iran. He decided to not disclose the Epstein files, right? To go against his campaign promises. Let's continue.
To them about Israel or lie on behalf of Israel are just not getting support. And you're blaming it on me and Tucker. I don't know why you're blaming it on me and Tucker. Again, we were one of the last ones to really join the party, maybe the first out of the Republican Party to say, like, I'm done with this. Getting fired, obviously, publicly, kind of being hung for having a totally rational perspective that genocide is always wrong. I didn't know that there were exclusions on that. I didn't know that genocide is sometimes okay. But sticking to being willing to lose my career and being willing not to change my position for money, which I think is unusual and has built up trust with the audience. Like, if I care about something and I'm principled about something, I'm not going to pivot on those things. But to your other point, this is what's amazing. Speaking about Turning Point,
you're invited to join Phoenix Energy's next webinar, where you can drill deeper into our bond offerings. We currently offer 2 investment opportunities.
Linking up with whoever, they have no morals anymore. They don't care about anything. And that recent piece that they did with Brandy Zadrozny from NBC. Charlie hated this woman. I mean, talk about the messages I have. She was the original person who did a hit piece on me and Charlie back in 2018. It was like one of our first lessons with the media, how you can sit down with a reporter, invite them in, go take them to dinner. She did pay her own dinner, and then we were just so shocked by what she wrote. This woman is not just an ally of transgenderism. She's like far, she's extreme on transgenderism. She believes that children should be trans. Erica sits down with her. So your husband hated her. You believe a trans furry killed your husband, and
this is what we're seeing from TPUSA right now. Just flipping, just like Trump flipped. TPUSA is flipping on everything that Charlie stood for. It's just amazing. We're going to keep watching. I'm sure Candace is going to get to it.
You're sitting down with Brandy Zadrozny to write a hit piece on Candace. You'll partner with anyone when it comes to the topic of Candace. But what was in that piece is so telling, because they basically say they could have reunited an already fracturing Republican Party, which was fracturing over the Iranian war and the Epstein files, had it not been for Candace Owens. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe they put it in writing and didn't realize that, like, yeah, guys, this is crazy. Charlie's death was supposed to make you forget about the pedophiles that Trump was looking the other way on. You were supposed to make you forget about the Zionists who were involved in the Epstein files that Trump was looking away from, in which, in your good sense, you said, I don't care if I supported MAGA. I'm not supporting someone who is okay with children being abused or is willing to look the other way when people that who are giving him money are plausibly abusing children. Like, you were moral in that perspective, and we were going to distract you by telling you, ooh, but remember the left bad left, bad trans, bad this. I couldn't believe it, but that is their position. And Blake Neff has shared that. Andrew Colvett shared that. That is what they hate me for, is stopping us going back to this basic structure, this paradigm of left versus right.
It's so fundamentally misunderstands the dynamic of what's going on. Because, like, in a way, I don't know, it's like they're almost going, first of all, they're going, first when they go, oh, Tucker Carlson doesn't matter, or Candace Owens doesn't matter, it's like, okay, now they're trying to downplay your significance as if you guys aren't massively influential figures, which is stupid, you know? But then when they go, you destroyed the whole coalition, or you could have kept it together, you're massively overestimating how much influence any one of us actually has. The thing that people don't get, right, is that there's a mass awakening going on. People like us have been a part of this.
Our month-end close was disjointed, I would say,
We're talking about this, and our audiences respect and enjoy our perspectives and like that we're telling the truth as we see it. But that doesn't mean that we're their emperor god. Like, in other words, if I were to just come out tomorrow and go, yeah, actually, whatever, let Israel take Lebanon and let them kill some of those people, it's not that my audience would go, all right, well, then I guess that's what we're doing. You'd be like, wait.
Yeah, that's true, because you got to give people credit too. People don't follow, people who want to know, who seek knowledge, who want to know the truth, who have principles and morals, and who ask questions. They don't just follow anybody. They follow someone that's, that they're on the same page with. But when Trump flipped, look at his numbers. That's proof, right? Trump flipped, with the tariffs, people, tolerated that. But then when he did the Iran war, man, his numbers just tanked because people were like, no, this is not what we voted for. So the same thing what Dave is saying, if he is, he's speaking the truth, he's giving his opinion, and he's speaking the truth. If he all of a sudden says, you know what, forget about the Epstein files, let's go, let's do Iran, let Israel go into southern Lebanon, let them, at next stop is Turkey. No, people are going to stop listening to Dave Smith. Same thing if Candace Owens does something like that. I'm going back to Daily Wire. If she wants to go back to Daily Wire, people will be like, nah, we're done with that, right? So people like in TPUSA, they don't give people enough credit. They just think we're stupid. That's why they lie so much. They lie so much that because they think we're just going to believe it, that we're just that stupid. And so they believe like, oh, if Candace just says this or says that, all the people are just going to follow her. No, it just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way.
Dave's been compromised. He's not telling the truth anymore. It's not like as if they took out you and Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan, it's not like your audiences would then go back to listening to Jake Tapper and go, oh, okay, I guess that's what the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, no, like the truth is that not me or you or anyone else is skilled enough to have spun this away to keep the coalition together. Too many people, the whole point was no more of these stupid wars and drain the swamp. That was the whole point. If we're covering up the most corrupt goddamn thing ever, whatever exactly the Jeffrey Epstein thing was, in one way or the other, it's the most corrupt thing ever in the world. So there's that. And then we're launching more wars. We're killing people by the thousands and wasting hundreds of billions of dollars, all literally so obviously at this point, Candace. I mean, I remember even when me and you first met, which wasn't that long ago, and I'd be like, dude, we fought the war in Iraq for the Israel lobby. And you'd be like, whoa, this is crazy. We have but now, is it even like a thing? You got to convince us we're fighting this war so that Israel can take southern Lebanon.
It was crazy.
That's the whole
It's like,
war.
it's so, this was just way too obvious. They weren't even trying with this one. I mean, we're learning that Bibi Netanyahu is in the situation room and Trump is sitting down, listening to him, telling him how it's going to go. And then we understand the fundamental stupidity of our own president, that he thought that it was convincing that we would be able to be out of this in 2 weeks, like 2 weeks to flatten the curve on Iran. This is Persia. They've been around. Like, this is not just going to be a country that you're going to overtake in 2 weeks. So you're telling me he's so fundamentally stupid that a person that's in middle school, you could have the foreign policy level of a middle schooler trying to write a paper, and you would go, no, that's absurd. If you are the president, you go, I don't even need to be deep on this topic, but the fact that you pitched me this stupidity, you're fired. That's what he should have said, right? Like, obviously, we're not taking this over in 2 weeks by, we're just going to have an air assault and it's going to be over. I don't need to be an expert on military. I don't have no military expertise to tell you that that is such a nonsense. And Trump went for it. Right? He went for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That's supposed to be the stupidity that they tell us because they think we're all dumb and we're not. 2 weeks, this will all be over. But he pitched that to a president, a sitting, and Trump said, yeah, no, that sounds good. And in this room of people who we're now all learning are fundamentally dumb, corrupt, and blackmailed, they were willing to put American lives on the line. And now we're learning about the ships and what's been going on there and people that are trying to jump off of them, because we always knew from the very beginning that this was unwinnable. So the audience is smarter than you think. Okay, that's what the lesson is in all of this. The propaganda is not slapping the same. They've then gone, okay, CNN, MSNBC, they fall and people don't believe them. So we can just employ a bunch of influencers to do what they were doing and it's going to somehow look independent. No, when they all come out with the same talking points, people are recognizing that as well. So you have basically only one option, and it's the one you never want to take. Tell the truth. Listen to the people when they tell you what they want. And don't be surprised when you completely abandon every issue that you stood on, every promise that you made, and the people are no longer with you. Don't play shock. Don't play it's Tucker's fault, it's Candace's fault, it's whoever's fault. Blame yourself for once in your miserable life. And that is how I feel about Donald Trump today.
All right, guys.
Wow. So that was a nice discussion that they had. And yeah, it's really the power is really with us. It's just that the ones who, quote unquote, have the power, which they do, they're not realizing that. And their power is not real. It's just a matter of time before enough people start waking up, I believe, to the point where we're just going to have change. It's just going to be inevitable. That's what I believe. Whether it's, next year, whether it's in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, I believe that change is inevitable, where the government, it represents the people, where the American government represents the American people. And that's what we want. All right. So we are out and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Peace.